This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important update to share with you. $2,000 checks. That's how much some Americans may receive. I'll give you the details on that. No debt ceiling. That's what Elizabeth Warren is calling for in Congress, meaning there could be an unlimited amount of spending. Also, she talks about what's going to be done in the lame duck session that Democrats now have control over the Senate. I'll play you that full video clip. Also, Senator Cassidy blaming the president for the Republicans losing, but not President Biden. You don't want to miss what he says there, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a more than mundane Monday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight-to-the-point updates on matters that financially matter to you. So, what's going on with the GOP? Not too happy after the results of this midterm election. We're not a cult. GOP Senator Bill Cassidy defends GOP leadership after the party's poor performance in the 2022 midterm election. So I think Republicans, a lot of them thought there would be a red wave and then a big change in the country, but looks like we're probably still going to have a big gridlock with the Democrats owning the Senate and Republicans owning the House. Now, when it comes to what is going to be done for the American people and what changes are we going to see, let's take a look at what Republican Senator Bill Cassidy has to say. Also, he's blaming former President Trump for a lot of the mishaps. Take a look at what he says here.
So what's going on with the Republican Party right now? Joining me is from Baton Rouge is Republican Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. Senator Cassidy, it is good to see you after the election. So let me just start with that. What did you learn from this election?
I learned that the American people want a way forward that actually focuses on ideas that will make their lives better, not just their lives, but that for future generations. Those who are most closely aligned with the former president underperformed. Those who are talking about the future, who had managed their states well, they overperformed. The American people want ideas. They want a future.
It sounds like you just blame Donald Trump for the Senate, at least. Is that fair?
No, I'm looking at it empirically. Those that were most closely aligned with the past, those are the ones that underperformed. We as a party need to have a debate about ideas. In that debate, we need to explain to the American people exactly where we think our country should go. And by the way, since I think using market forces to make the individual's life more free, more prosperous is the way to go, I think we win that debate.
You know, it's interesting. You have not been shy about your criticism of Donald Trump. You voted to convict him after January 6th. When you look at your vote and you look at the votes of some of your colleagues that we know were thinking about it but decided not to, in hindsight, how big of a mistake was it not to convict Trump when you had the chance?
I can't speak to that. Again, that's more of a focus upon the past. The American people wish to have a discussion about the future. I think they really want to air out ideas as to, okay, which party has better ideas? I'm an ideas guy. I welcome that debate. I think our party should be pointing to the future. I think our country should be. And I think that's the only way we give the American voter that which she or he deserves.
You know, it's interesting. There was a bit of a debate between the head of the Senate Campaign Committee, Rick Scott, and the Senate Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, about should the Republicans offer up an agenda to run on. Now, Rick Scott offered up something that not every Republican was happy about. Mitch McConnell said, we'll wait till after the election. So where do you sit on that debate?
We are after the election. We've got big problems in our country. The degree that both parties duck these big problems is the degree that the voter says pox in both your houses. So let's have a debate about the domestic issues, about the foreign issues, and then let's implement. We've got to get some things done. By the way, Chuck, I think I can say this with some credibility. Since I have been involved, or frankly, either in the mix or leading on issues to limit surprise medical billing, to lower the cost of prescription drugs, to do the bipartisan infrastructure bill. We can get things done. We need to get them done. And that's, I think, what the American voter is looking for.
Do you think it's time for a change in leadership among Senate Republicans? Do you think it's time for Senator McConnell to step down?
I'm actually going to support Mitch. I think Mitch kind of pulled the chestnuts out of the fire for candidates who, for whatever reason, were having a difficult time raising the money that as you pointed out, was required to have a winning campaign. And I think going forward, Mitch will be our leader. But that is not to say that we're not going to have a necessary debate about ideas. And I think it's very, again, one more time, important for us to explain to the American voter why Republicans have a better vision for the future of our country.
I guess I ask this, if this is the result of these elections, but the Republican Party still has sort of the same leadership at RNC, Ronna McDaniel, Kevin McCarthy of House Republicans, Mitch McConnell of Senate Republicans, and of course Donald Trump is sort of the leader out there. If there's no change there, do you think that's a problem for Republicans going forward?
First, we're not a cult. We're not like, okay, there's one person who leads our party. If we have a sitting president, she or he will be the leader of our party. But we should be a party of ideas and principles. And that's what should lead us. And I will go back. What we've been lacking, perhaps, is that fulsome discussion followed up with the policy initiatives that we work to pass that will define who we are. Again, we are not going to have one person anointed unless she or he happens to be a sitting president. We should have a set of principles and ideas and legislative accomplishments that is our lodestar, if you will. That's where we need to go.
I understand that's where you should go. How do you get the party there? Because you know how hard it is. You know the base of this party still loves Donald Trump. Or do you think that this midterm could break that spell?
Elections are about winning. And so if folks want to look at these election results and decide that's where you want us to continue to be, then we're not going to do well. If people are going to look at these election results and say, hey, listen, the Republicans have established ourselves as the anti-woke brand. We care about being anti-woke. Now let's have a series of policy initiatives that actually help people's lives get better. I can point to the examples I mentioned earlier that I've been involved with. Mm-hmm. Surprise medical billing, that legislation has prevented about 11 million surprise medical bills in this year since it was signed into law in January. That's fantastic. Similarly, we can go to the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which was led by the Senate with Republicans fully engaged in making sure that the average American, for example, has access to high-speed, affordable internet. We can look at those legislative accomplishments, get them done, build the credibility so that next time, next election, people decide to vote Republican.
Look, Donald Trump's announcing his candidacy for president on Tuesday, whether anybody wants him to or not. And we understand people have tried to get him to postpone this decision. He's not going to do that. Are you at all concerned that his just mere presence is just going to make it that much harder for Republicans to recover?
We have to be a party about the future. And so if we're talking about the future of the American voter, she'll make her choice. And if we have results that show these are our ideas. Now, if the left frustrates our efforts, well, that will be part of what we will discuss. But we just have to make that case. I think you see, for example, a governor like Governor DeWine in Ohio, who's governed extremely well, given an example of putting forward policies that make the people in Ohio's lives better. And he had an incredible victory. And we can go around the country and see that. So if we have a track record, if we have the ideas, then we will appeal to that voter talking about the future.
What are your thoughts there? Looks like some Republicans are starting to turn on former President Trump. What do you think about that? Is there two different parties in the Republican Party, or do you not care and you just want more help for the American people and you don't care which party does it? Let us know down in the comments below. Then here, Warren calls for removing debt ceiling during lame duck Congress. So the lame duck session, we are in it right now, basically now until January. Is anything going to be done? And does removing the debt ceiling mean that we have basically an unlimited credit card? Take a look at what Senator Warren has to say. Also, given the latest update on student loan forgiveness, where she insists that it is legal, despite other courts saying it's illegal. Take a look at what Senator Warren has to say.
All right, joining me now is Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. Senator Warren, welcome back to Meet the Press. Let me start with the same question I started to Senator Cassidy. What did you learn from the midterms? What are you taking away?
I learned that when Democrats deliver, Democrats win. We got out there, we fought for working people. That's the heart and soul of the Democratic Party. And the voters said, yeah, that's what we want. The Republicans, by contrast, they were there for the billionaires and the billionaire corporations. They were extremists. They wanted to fight about conspiracy theories and the 2020 election. And voters said, no, we need somebody on our side. So Democrats fought, Democrats delivered, Democrats won, and that should inform what we do during the lame duck and what we do in 2023 and 2024.
I want to get to a couple things in the lame duck in a minute, but I want to ask you something about the message voters sent. You know, in the exit poll, we asked, which party do you trust more on 5 sets of issues? And the Republicans were more trusted on foreign policy, crime, inflation, and immigration. The only issue they weren't trusted more on was on the issue of abortion. And the reason I asked this question this way is this for you, Senator. The voters seem to perhaps not be happy with Democratic governance, but there was just no way they were going to go to Trump candidates. I think that's pretty clear. Do you have a concern that Democrats can't win if they're running against, say, normal Republicans, kind of like Chris Sununu or Mike DeWine, people like that?
No, I do not have such a concern. In fact, look, Donald Trump, with his preening and his selection of truly awful candidates, didn't do his party any favors. But this victory belongs to Joe Biden. It belongs to Joe Biden and the Democrats who got out there and fought for working people. The things we did were important and popular. Remember, right after Joe Biden was sworn in, all of the economists and the pundits in his ear who were saying, go slow, go small. Joe Biden didn't listen to them. And in fact, he went big. He went big on vaccinations. He went big on testing, but he also went big on helping people who were still unemployed, on setting America's working families up so they could manage the choppy waters in the economy following the pandemic. And then with the Inflation Reduction Act, we delivered again and delivered big. You know, $35 cap on insulin. There'll be a cap of $2,000 on what seniors spend on prescription drugs. We're cutting the cost of utilities, cutting the cost of insurance payments, and forcing giant corporations that have been paying nothing to pay a 15% minimum corporate tax. Every one of those things is popular. The Republicans, every single one of them, voted against every provision I just described. The president's leadership put us in a position, every candidate, up and down the ballot, to talk about what Democrats fight for and what we deliver on. And by doing that, we were able to address the values and the economic security of people across this country. And it sure paid off. It paid off at historic levels.
All right, I want to tick off about 3 or 4 issues here that you have sort of unique insight on. Number one, I know in your op-ed you're calling for raising the debt ceiling and the lame duck. Would you just simply eliminate it, or in this case, raise it just past so that you can get through 2025?
Okay, look, let me just be sure to set this up really fast. This assumes that if the Republicans take the House...
That's right. We can't assume anything there.
We need to raise... That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We cannot. If the Democrats take the House, then there's no urgency around this.
Right.
But no matter what, the United States of America has to honor its outstanding obligations. I get rid of the debt ceiling altogether.
Right.
It serves no function except to create leverage for people who are willing to blow up the economy. And that's the problem we've got right now. Many of these new Republicans who are coming in are people who are coming in with exactly one goal, get Donald Trump elected in 2024. And they see that if they can create chaos in the economy, then they think that may move Donald Trump 1 inch closer to election. So we've got to take that away from them, take care during the lame duck, take care of raising the debt limit or getting rid of it altogether. I'm there.
I want to talk about the president's student loan forgiveness program, which the courts are potentially going to say he can't do, saying, look, this needs to be appropriated from Congress. Okay, this is something you could do in the lame duck. Should you wait for this court outcome or simply codify the president's student loan plan via Congress?
So look, I'd be delighted to codify what the president is doing, but here's the key. I don't have any doubt that the president has the legal authority to cancel this student loan debt. President Trump did it, President Obama did it, and President Biden has actually done it up to now on student loan debt payments. But we have a court down in Texas, and if they're going to play politics instead of actually following the law, they do put the program at risk. But to me, this is one of the clearest differences between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats, led by Joe Biden, are out there saying, we hear you on what it's like to get crushed by student loan debt. We know what that means, and so we're here to try to help. The Republicans, they got nothing. They say, no, the only people that they're willing to fight for are billionaires and billionaire corporations and conspiracy theorists. Yeah. Democrats fight for working people, and when we fight for working people, we win.
All right, I want to ask you about the Fed. You have been somewhat critical of the Fed chair for these interest rate cuts, interest rate hikes right now. Do you think they've been hikes? Do you think they've been too large, and do you want them to stop, or do you think the path they're going on is reasonable?
Look, I worry about increased costs for families. It's hard on families when prices go up. But I also worry about a Fed that only has one tool in its toolbox, and that is to raise interest rates. And the Fed chair has said directly to me in hearings, well, no, raising interest rates actually doesn't directly affect the price of groceries. It doesn't affect the price of oil. It's not going to affect the price of health care. In other words, it's not going to have a direct effect on what families are paying. But what it will do, what it can do, is put a lot of people out of work and tip this economy from being a healthy economy into recession. The Fed has been way out on the extreme. It has raised rates faster and more frequently than any time in decades and decades. And so I worry about what it does to our economy overall. Okay. I want the Fed to slow down here. We're watching inflation maybe ease off a little, and let America's working people keep their jobs, keep this economy healthy. Okay. The Fed has a dual mandate on inflation, but also on employment. I want them to remember that.
So where do you stand on that? Without a debt ceiling, there could be more room for relief. Maybe possible, and they don't have to really have any budgets or spending. And what do you think about student loan forgiveness? Is it going to happen? She seemed pretty confident that it will. Or should those funds be used for something else, like a broader stimulus package with stimulus checks? Let us know down in the comments below. Speaking of checks, so check please. Americans may score up to $2,000 with gold package bonus rebate, full list of each city payment. So I wish this was a general fourth $2,000 check for everybody, but unfortunately it's not. So this is going out in checks of $50 up to $2,000 in the city of Tallahassee, Florida, which I used to live in, by the way. Shout out to anyone from Tallahassee. I used to live there for, I think, 2 to 3 years. Pretty cool city. And so basically the gold package here, this rebate applies to first-time installations of water heater, furnace, or combination appliance, either a gas range or dryer. The $425 gold package bonus brings the total rebate to $2,000. So basically, if anyone in Tallahassee switches over to, natural gas and takes advantage of these packages, you could get paid up to $2,000, $1,300, $700, depending on the package, and it could go as low as $50. So looks like some checks and incentives there. Just wish there was some type of help for more people on a broader basis. So still waiting on that. You can hear my daughters in the background. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, so my name is Bella. This is the tip of the day. If you make a mistake, then it's okay. You learn from your mistake, it makes you a better person. So it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. We like you a lot. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. If you like how I get straight to the point and all, just hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. And yeah, all is good. Just resting and stuff, and nothing much new. Oh yeah, actually, our bed broke the other day, so I have to went to Home Depot to get like some pieces of wood to fix it, and I had to do that on my little rolly scooter, and it was a little difficult, but we'll get it fixed. Anyways, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channels, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.